So, I don't want to like.
Nope. That's all right. Let's keep.
I don't want to like, blur through the details here, but
keeping us on task. I appreciate that. We got to make sure we get to the end.
Yeah. I actually is the only bummer here, not bummer, but like, I'm glad you told us, Drew, that you were going to make it, because I actually had someone who I was going to come in whose name is Drew and just pretend like he was always here.
Oh,
and be
that's
part of this conversation.
funny.
But
It's a good solution.
I had to cancel him.
It'll happen again with one of us.
Yeah. Is Drew Carey on? You might not know him.
That motherfucker actually has really, really good taste in music.
Does he?
Yeah, he has a XM radio show, and he plays music that I've like bands I've never heard before, but are amazing. Like dude, his knowledge is deep on shit. It's really.
He's from Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
We know.
Cleveland rocks.
Yeah. Sure does.
To all of our listeners from Cleveland, Ryan's just kidding.
Ryan just said "fuck you."
I assume this is gonna get edited out. God, I hope so. Cleveland, I love you.
Yeah. Some of it.
I have no hate.
I got to have some kind of a cold open. You know what I mean? That's what I'm always looking for in these kind of tangential conversations is, hey, what can I use for the cold open and potentially for outtakes at the end?
What about a cool open? Like, for example, Drew just unbuttoning his shirt to cool off.
I think Drew unbuttoning his shirt and letting the fan hit him so that he's like the cover of a Danielle Steele novel.
Yeah.
There you go. Full Fabio, man. Fabio.
It's a pretty kind of heavy shirt, but let's just see if that's even. This fan is beat. This fan is beat up.
Why are we doing this?
I don't know.
No movement. No movement.
No movement.
Well, that's disappointing, but that's okay.
No movement, no boobment. All right.
Hey, so we want to kick this thing off?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's do it.
Occasionally, once in a while. Are we ready, gents?
La.
Did your vocal warm-ups were good? Okay.
100.
I'm Bert.
I'm Drew.
I'm Ron.
I'm Ryan.
And this is the 100 Albums Podcast, where we discuss the ins, the outs, and the absurdities of a poster that depicts 100 seemingly random albums. Hey, guys.
What's up, Bert?
What's up, Bert?
La. I'd like to live in magic America with all the magic people. Hey, look, what do you want from me?
Oh, I was waiting for the word pod. Usually you put pod in there.
Now, I tried to weave that in somehow. And honestly, there were not a lot of really good lyrical opportunities this week.
Okay.
I tried.
You know, I thought that was great.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It is magic. So here we are, folks. Album number 39. Only one more album to go this season. Season 2. But
I'm ready for the next bracket buster too. This is gonna be crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're still going through the 100 albums that appear on a random poster that Drew got a couple of years ago as a gift. We first went through the whole poster by listening to each album and then sharing our thoughts and reactions with each other via video chat. Once we were all done, we thought it might be a fun little project to turn into a podcast. So let's chat about this week's album, Parklife by Blur. Vibe check, guys. What are your first impressions?
I love this freaking album. Normally, like I listen to every album we do for this podcast, but this album I've played every day, multiple times a day. My kids like it because they've listened to it on the way to school. Like, there's only one song on this whole damn album that I'm like, it's all right. I love every damn song on it. So nodding head, earworms, love it.
Awesome. Drew, how about you? Ryan, go ahead.
No, Drew. He's got his face on. Look at him go.
Was the song you hated, Debt Collector, Ron?
No.
Oh, okay. Just was curious.
I have issues with that, but we'll get there.
Clearly I do too. No, I just, I was looking through my, Boy, this album and me haven't met eye to eye, but I will say this listen, well, I love the first song. I love the opening, and then for me, it takes a dive, and then it comes back. So that's my vibe. My vibe is a sforzando piano.
It's a valley.
You're a roller coaster.
Your vibe is a valley.
Yeah. but more than just a V. It's got a V with a plane after it, because the end is.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. Okay. So it's more like a square root symbol.
Yeah, or like a cliff with a whacked out.
I'm trying to weave Ron's equations back into
skateboard
this.
ramp that has no lead.
Good luck with that, Bert.
A skateboard ramp. Okay. All right. Ryan, how about you, buddy?
Well, I mean, so full disclosure, prior to 2015, I only knew Blur because of Song 2. Right? So, and I was working at the record store when Magic Whip came out, and I was like, man, this is pretty good.
I remember flashbacks lighting up Magic Whip. 8 o'clock, Kowloon and Tina's handle it.
And then I realized what it was. I was like, what? So I'm really late to the Blur game, just generally, because I mean, that was only 10 years ago. But this album, oh yeah, it does it for me in a lot of ways. It checks a lot of boxes. And I know we're going to get into why, but yeah, I'm into it.
So same Z's. That's actually what I have, that same call out in my notes. Ryan, song 2 was the only song that I'd ever heard of from Blur until we listened to it on the poster.
Oh,
So I've got you beat by like 10 years.
Bert, I'm with you on that.
Same way.
Only song 2 until this project.
I knew song 2 from college because we were in college when that was their self-titled Blur, right? And that was the only song that I knew. So when we went into it in the poster listen, I didn't really know what to expect because the only thing I knew was woohoo, ironically, I had more familiarity with Gorillaz prior to Blur, right? So in Damon Albarn, singer of Blur, and goes on to form Gorillaz after Blur. So and I absolutely love Gorillaz. On multiple levels. But so when we listened to it on the poster, then this was really my first real exposure to Blur, and I loved it. Absolutely loved this album. Wound up getting into other stuff in their catalog and kind of doing a little bit deeper dive after the poster listen. So coming back to it this week, I was like, yes, really, really excited to talk about it. So
yes, same. And I will tell you, like that, their debut album, Leisure, I remember that album cover so well, even though I'd never listened to it, because it was always in the Columbia House or BMG where you could put the stamp on to get the CD. And it was a big deal. And I was all like, I don't know what that is. I don't think I'll pass on it, even though it was like in the category with like alternative rock. And I was like, I don't know.
So do you have regrets? Well, how would sliding doors moment here, right? Butterfly effect. How would your life be different if you'd have selected that Blur album and put that stamp on the card and sent it back?
Oh man, first of all, we all know I'd be filthy rich. That's what happened. As soon as I would have picked the Blur record, I mean, I wouldn't be doing this podcast.
All right, so funny thing, not that you would be filthy rich, but if you had the vinyl original pressing of this shit, because I was going to buy it. So I went on Discogs and I was like, yeah, I'm going to buy this album. You're not buying an original.
No, you're not, because it was only, well, first of all, UK had it. We didn't have it in the US.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is interesting. I will tell you, and I know we're not supposed to get this far ahead, Bert, but when I was looking at the track list, I actually think it performs better as a CD than it does as a two-sided album because of where the split happens. But
we can get into that. Any other vibe check thoughts, guys?
Interesting thing about the vinyl though, this is 94, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, these to me were the days that records were not being made well to me. And I wonder if that's part of the reason you can't find those originals anymore. I don't know.
I went through 2 copies over Discogs of Vitology, and it was really hard for them to get me one that wasn't beat up.
I don't know. I mean, just it became like hip for a second, and they weren't prepared. I don't know. I just remember it being kind of crappy.
So do you mean like the quality that the record companies were putting out, or
Correct.
Ryan, you're talking about?
No, it was beat up, meaning like I got them sealed, and it was in bad condition. And,
Wow. Okay.
So
I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
I thought you meant you were buying them like pre-owned or whatever, but no.
But that was a U.S. problem because in many parts of the world they weren't moving to CD yet; they were still all records, so they still had to make records. Now I don't know what the quality of some of the presses were in other countries, or what those record plants looked like. Right. So,
well, hey, let's talk a little bit about background, shall we?
Okay.
All right. Blur came together in London in December of 1988. Band consists of singer Damon Albarn, guitarist Graham Coxon, who, personal note, I am a huge fan of after this album, bassist Alex James, and drummer Dave Roundtree. The debut album Leisure came out in 1991. So they incorporated sounds of Manchester and shoegaze, which, Ryan, I'd like for you to give me an example of shoegaze, because you've mentioned it many times and I still don't know what it is.
Yeah, shoegaze is that kind of, it's exactly what it sounds like. If you imagine yourself laying in the grass when the sun's out and you're staring at your shoes and chilling out and listening to music. Stone Roses. That we already did an album of, are a great example of both shoegaze and Manchester.
Okay.
I had never heard shoegaze before you, but man, it's a good description of a style of music.
Yeah, check out Stone Roses, album number 32 from the poster. We've already done that episode, so go back and take a listen to that.
And to your point, though, Ron, because this is a group activity, is it, or are you just leading this forever now?
I might. I don't really know.
There's been a coup d'etat.
Well, because what I think is really interesting is you mentioned that Manchester movement and how it might relate to Blur. Their first album, Leisure, really does ape on a lot of what was happening in Manchester, even though they were in London, which comes into play later, as we all know, with that north-south kind of infighting right between them and Oasis.
Yeah.
I just want to throw that in while you were there, Ron. My apologies.
Oh, dude, no worries. So, following a stylistic change influenced by English guitar pop groups such as the Kinks, Beatles, XTC, then they released Modern Life is Rubbish in 93, Parklife in 94, The Great Escape in 95. And as a result, the band, it helped to popularize the Brit Pop genre and achieve mass popularity in the UK, aided by a widely publicized chart battle with Oasis. Kind of backing up a little bit, singer Damon Albarn and drummer Dave Roundtree were in a band called Circus. And then Albarn reunited with school-age friend Graham Coxon on guitar. And then they had a lineup change, causing Coxon to be recruited. And then afterwards, his friend Alex James came in on bass, and they renamed themselves Seymour, staging ludicrously chaotic art punk gigs at dive venues around London. I tried YouTube and I couldn't find any of those. And then they were discovered by Food Records A&R Andy Ross, who signed them. Now, Food Records also, like Blur was their biggest sign, but they also had Jesus Jones, Diesel Park West, and Dubstar. So little bit of history.
What was the Jesus? Was that
Right Here, Right Now?
Right Here, Right Now? Right
Yeah.
Here, Right
I love that song.
I
That's a good
I
song.
thought-
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know a damn thing else they did.
That's the only one. Yep.
Kind of like Blur.
Yeah.
Right.
So, Ryan, what else? You got anything?
Well, one of the things that I was noting about this album in particular with Blur, and you were kind of leading up to that, is they found themselves in a transition period right around 1991 and 92, where now we have Nirvana hitting the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And there's a choice to be made at that point of grunge is the thing. This is the thing that's now shooting across the world. Do we do what we've been doing? Do we join in that? And what's interesting is you get to Parklife and you could see that they strategically positioned themselves almost anti-grunge, echoing back to maybe you can hear some Beatleisms, I think, in here. And for me, for my money, the XTC, which you mentioned, Ron, the XTC is strong with
Huge
them.
influence,
And I love XTC. So clearly, again, this is checking a box for me. But they're instead of going into a raw thing that was becoming very popular, and also which Oasis was trying to do too later, but they were really going more towards, I think, like a British intellectualism. There's a lot of, witty humor, a lot of like details about everyday life, which of course was a big selling point for bands like the Beatles. So I think really what's cool about this album, and I think maybe why it's on the poster, was making that turn in that moment in time.
Yeah.
I got something here for you, Ron. And maybe you guys have seen this. If you have, stop me. But there's a book called England's Dreaming. It's a 1994 book by David Kavanagh. And in it, he says that in 1990, a year before Blur's debut album Leisure was released, Damon Albarn told a group of music journalists, quote, "When our third album comes out, our place as the quintessential English band of the 90s will be assured. That is a simple statement of fact. I intend to write it in 1994.
I saw that, and that is just
I'm like what is this, like Nostradamus? Like, what is happening here?
The balls on this guy.
Well, I mean, he's predicting the future, right?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Well, I mean, yeah, I equate that to like Jim Carrey writing the $1 million check for himself.
Right.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
It's hopeful.
A much more public $1 million check, but yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's only a big story if it comes true. If it doesn't, no one pays attention. So good job.
But in many cases, your third album is complete trash where you fall off. So that's
exactly,
a weird
right?
one to choose for your.
And by the way, listeners, I want you to know that in 2028, I will be broadcasting to you from outer space.
And we will have 18 sponsors for this podcast.
Breathing through breathing through no apparatus because you'll have adapted.
I will have space gills.
Space skills. There you go.
In 2028, I just want to be taller.
You want to be a baller?
A shot caller?
If there was a girl, you would call her?
Hello, I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish I had a girl who looked good. I would call her.
I would.
But no, you guys said some good stuff there, and I gotta give. I had a conversation with myself during this one, and there's things that we'll get into, I guess, as we go here, that I keep just not loving about some of these British pop bands, and it's always the same stuff. But it's an intolerance. It's just ignorance to the music and an intolerance. And when you relate them to the Beatles, which there's tons of audio relations to the Beatles that I listened to, but when you say it out loud, I'm like, man, because as a Beatles fan, why would I not continue that love for them as much as in these new bands? And I struggle with that. So, but good statements by all.
No, because to be specific, I'm not talking about Hold Your Hand. I mean, there's a layered complexity to these arrangements and the songwriting that is much more like Sgt. Pepper to me.
The organ throughout was straight out Revolver. Like I'm thinking is at the beginning of All You Need Is Love. There's a flailing organ going around, and man, just that sound.
And XTC too. I mean, like their first 2 or 3 albums had all that Farfisa organ in it, and I mean, the inside joke element, like that kind of like those really clever one-line lyrics are very XTC to me.
Campy
and
kind of, yeah.
And also the use of vocal harmony as a counterpoint, as opposed to just like in country music where it's just a harmony that is, with the exact same rhythm.
Yep.
But having it be an extra instrument, I really like how that is a part of this, which is a part of the Kinks and the XTC and the Beatles.
Yeah. So, like I said, it's a fascinating, just unfamiliar territory for me, but as a pretty serious Beatles listener, it surprises me that I'm less interested in their stuff than I am.
Well, I think through and I'll speak for myself, but I know that when I put an artist or an album or a song up on a pedestal, it's difficult for me to say with other artists or albums or songs, oh, that sounds like this thing I've got up on the pedestal, because exactly. That's you're prioritizing that one thing, and it's difficult to say, oh, these things are as good as that because you want to keep that up on the mountaintop or whatever. But I hear you. Yeah, absolutely.
And Drew, when you were listening to it this week, your truck is your best listening, right?
Yeah, but not for this album because I've been home. So
did you do headphones?
No.
Okay.
Headphones.
you're gonna want to do headphones.
I'll post listen in headphones while I'm mowing this week because it deserves another run. I don't listen, man. You know I don't sit still. So.
I know. That's why I'm laughing.
He's a shark, folks. He's gonna keep moving.
It's like, the thing that kills me is like you are like a hard-working musician. By the way, if people don't know this, and so Drew's like he appreciates how much time it takes to make an album, but he's still practically. It's like I can't wait to really pay attention to music against the sound of my lawnmower. It's just fair. Like
I mean, the only stuff I can listen to when I'm mowing the lawn is like really loud punk, metal, that kind of stuff, because it's all that comes through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, to be fair, my earbuds with good earmuffs do a pretty good job. But no, you're right. I really, and I blame it on a lot of things, but
I'm just teasing.
Someday I'm going to retire, and then I'm going to do my listening.
There you go.
But
that'll be your reward.
No, you guys, this project has definitely called me out on that, and I've learned that about myself. Like, because I just said, I'm like, yeah, I'll listen to it when I'm mowing my lawn.
This one in the headphones is rewarding. Listeners at home, yes. If you've only listened to it on your phone with your phone speaker, I think that you will be disappointed. So.
Yeah. Going back to what you were saying, Ryan, about the vocals. The link I sent you, Bert, is a YouTube link where it's just video of them in the studio singing. And there's, what's the Magical American or America or whatever? That's all four of them.
That was the opening that I did. Yeah. It was a very, very poor attempt.
No, it was great. We loved it.
Oh, guys, thanks.
But it's all four of them around the microphone singing that. And you can hear his vocals, like just him singing, and so there's some cool stuff in there. So, check it out.
Ron, you're talking through the group and you said you were really impressed with Coxon's guitar playing.
Oh,
which
yeah.
I am too. I think some of his lines are really clever. His solos are all like, the notes seem to be placed in the exact spot they need to be. Like you couldn't like plan it better. But interesting on this album, I love that he's also the reed player. I mean, I know they have a reed section too, but he's playing clarinet and sax with them.
Yeah. He's in that video they show him playing clarinet, and it's not well at all. Like I think it's like a first run track or something, and you can see the other guys laughing. But yeah, he played that. The cool thing is I found a 1994 live performance of them for the Mercury Award, and they're doing Boys and Girls. and Coxon has like
Girls and boys.
You know the fucking song.
I'm just saying.
But he stomps on a pedal. It's like a phaser or flanger or something, just for like a couple seconds here and there, like a half a verse or whatever. And so his use of effects throughout this album, I really picked up on. I was like, man, this guy's tasty. It's not my favorite song, but I want to say it's it's Magic America again. Like his guitar playing is a little atonal, kind of primacy.
Buildings in the sky and the air is sugar-free, and everyone's very friendly. Well,
But damn it if it don't work.
That's funny. I picked up on the Primus vibe. Yeah, that's funny.
You know,
Yeah.
not unlike the Pet Sounds album too, we're looking at a pretty deep list of additional musicians here.
Yeah.
And I'm always, as a composer, worried when I see lots of personnel, because usually if you have access to something, you just keep throwing all of this in the soup all at once. And it's all very tastefully deployed. I mean, they have a string quartet. They have the string section on top of that, which they call the Duke strings. They have flugelhorn, trumpet, 2 sax players, a flute, accordion, several organs. I mean, like,
Well,
it all comes in the right little spices.
Well, I was looking because I really thought they would have more ancillary people on here. And I was very surprised at how much the actual band covered. Like Damon did the Mellotron, the Moo, all that stuff. Hell, the harpsichord. And then you had Graham Coxon coming in with sax and woodwinds. Dave Roundtree did a lot of programming on this album too. And then they brought a guy in, Stephen Street, to do
the production.
Well, that, and he actually did synthesizers,
the keys.
Yeah. So it was like, there was a lot of string section stuff, but by and large, the heavy lifting was done by the band. So I thought that was kind of cool. And I mean, shit, David Albarn wrote a Gorillaz song with a bass patch off of a Casio Omnichord.
That's it. That's the preset. It's the Rock 1 preset.
I mean, the guy can
Have you seen that video?
Yeah.
This is like the coolest thing, right?
It's annoying.
Oh, I think it's so great because you're just like, oh my God. Like, no, why has nobody thought to do this before?
Well, it's annoying because it was such a great song and it is literally the simplest thing on the planet. And to kind of backtrack into what you were saying, Bert, coming into this, I thought the Gorillaz were so much more of a bigger band than Blur was until we did this. And I was like, oh, I was wrong.
Yeah. And I think too that when I hear Damon Albarn's voice, particularly when he's singing, it's like, which is it? Is it Gorillaz or is it Blur? Because he doesn't, it's not like he's changed his timbre or anything moving from one project to another. Now, they're very different projects.
Oh yeah.
To be clear, but it's nice to hear that that's still his voice. That's still his voice coming through. So yeah.
Yeah, it kind of blurs the lines between the two bands.
Blurred lines.
Everybody get it.
There's another British.
Well, I feel like this is a good time to end the podcast situation.
I got another quote. If Ron, I don't know what else you have.
No, go ahead, boss. Go ahead.
I thought this was really interesting. So this is an interview from The Guardian in March 1994. So like right after the album came out. Paul Moody interviewed the band, and here's a quote from Damon Albarn. For me, Parklife is like a loosely linked concept involving all these different stories. It's the travels of the mystical logger eater, seeing what's going on in the world and commenting on it. It's the same idea as the poem Confessions of an Opium Eater, but that sounds much too sensitive. Everyone goes on about the idea of the sensitive artist, but for me that's all bollocks. I can't stand the idea of being a sad, lonely, bedsit poet. I'd much rather be perceived as loud and arrogant because all our sensitivities in our records. Take someone like Daniel Day-Lewis. I hate cunts like that. They're the bane of my life. These people who think they're tortured. They always need to be someone else to make them good. Where would Morrissey be without Johnny Marr? He's a lager eater. The reason I threw that quote in here, the reason I wanted to talk about that was because, Ryan, back to what you were saying about Nirvana and kind of the spread of grunge music is that kind of, what did he call it? Sensitive artist, sad, lonely bedsit poet, right? I mean, that's Kurt Cobain, and that's,
I was just going to say,
that's Eddie Vedder and people like that. And I love them, don't get me wrong, but I think that with all of that kind of coming out of Seattle in particular, but America generally, I think that they were looking at Parklife as a way to say, hey, this is the antithesis of, or the answer to, what was kind of coming out of the grunge movement. So I thought that was an interesting quote.
Which makes it pretty grunge by
which makes it
conception. So that's kind of a conundrum. Very interesting, though.
It's the snake eating its tail, like the circle.
Exactly. I've already thinking more about this album than I ever have before. So great exercise, fellas.
So where does this album fit into Blur's career? Well, when it came out, the album was number 1 on the UK albums chart, so it went right to the top in the UK. Parklife did not chart on the US Billboard 200 at all. Didn't show up on that chart. But Girls and Boys spent 15 weeks on the Hot 100 chart. It peaked at number 59. It spent 12 weeks on, dang it, don't remember which chart it was. I didn't note it here in the notes. But another chart is like a singles something, rock singles maybe. I'll go back and look at that and splice it in. It peaked at number 61. It's their third. I was surprised at this. It's their third best-selling album. I thought this would have been up near the top, but their top 5 selling albums, 13, which came out in 1999, was 519,000 albums sold. The Best Of in 2000 sold 1.28 million. Parklife in third place, 1.3 million. The Great Escape from 1995 sold 1.34 million. And Blur, they're self-titled, the one that has song 2 on it, sold 1.85 million. In sum, they've sold nearly 7 million records worldwide. So still
that's pretty good.
Still lots of great success. So that's the context for you.
Yeah, they're doing pretty good.
I will say song 2, the video when that came out, that's the reason I started buying Rat distortion pedals, because they show that in the video of him stomping on it when it gets real loud. So not only did it influence me musically, it gear is whale.
By the way, anyone notice a similarity between song 2 and the Pixies' Secret to Success?
A little callback.
I'd have to compare the two side by side.
It's the old soft loud, baby.
I never put that together.
Yeah. Yep. Soft loud. Hey, what do you think? Time to take a quick break and hear from this week's sponsor?
Yeah, actually, I'm kind of excited because, sometimes we get new sponsors, but, it's the ones that keep coming back to the table who clearly are getting a good return of investment that want to be part of the podcast. And that's the case this week. You guys remember them as being super innovative in hyper masculinized bathroom products. We got another advert from Duke Johnson's Atomic Bath Bombs. Bum, 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 bum.
Yeah, hello.
Bum,
this is Rick
bum,
Gardner
bum,
with
bum,
Duke's Atomic Bath Bombs with an
bum,
urgent request to the 100 Albums family. You see, we really thought we had $1 million idea here, and we really haven't been doing so well. I'm in debt up to my eyeballs, and my wife left me. She took the kids. All I'm left with is a garage full of Duke's Bath Bombs. I don't know. Look, if you can help us out, I'll give you 75% off. Free shipping, whatever. We gotta get them out of here. I need my family back. Please, 100 Albums family. help us say goodnight.
Duke Johnson's atomic bath bombs. Duke Johnson's, they were the only ones to destroy bath time like a man. Duke Johnson's, you've reached your end.
Wow.
Damn.
What was
take
that low note? Was that like a two below middle C E flat or something?
Well, I don't know. I'll have to ask the production team from Duke Johnson's, but I feel bad now. I hear I was complimenting the success that we've offered to certain businesses, and Duke, if we've done wrong by hey, we'll send hope your way there. 100 albums podcast. Come on, we got to help this guy out.
Good. Do you think it's our fault?
I thought it was a Jerky Boys thing happening for a minute.
Haven't thought of them in a while.
I was going to say, way to hit the Wayback Machine,
I mean,
dude.
we are talking about an album from 1994, so just putting that out there. So. Well, hey, 100 albums.
I feel really bad about that.
Yeah, that's rough. I mean, it's a tough economy out there right now. So
It is, and bath bombs as a luxury item.
Yeah,
it's
tough.
But it's also necessity. I mean, you got to stay clean. So I mean, they annihilate dirt.
They do.
So are eggs,
like
man. So are eggs.
Sore eggs.
A necessity.
Oh, I thought you said sore eggs.
I did too. I think
eggs don't have feelings.
We all heard sore eggs.
Yes.
And that made me think someone punched you in the nuts.
That would be sore eggs.
Yeah, be sore eggs.
I just thought it was the Western New York accent.
I will tell you,
skewing my meaning once again.
And I don't mean this to be critical of any business, but when you're kind of trying to figure out budget line items, I think don't rearrange your jingle in minor and pay musicians for that. Maybe just come on and talk to us. It'd be a way to just save some of the capital. I don't I don't want to tell anyone how to run their business. But.
Without a doubt, a lot of work went into that.
Yeah, clearly. Hey, let's talk about the good and the bad and the ugly, guys. On the re-listen of this album, Blur's Parklife, what strikes you as good, bad, or perhaps ugly?
Well, one of my overall goods, which I think there's a lot. I think most of us, except for Drew, who's been wrong on a lot of this, agree there's a lot of good here. But here's where I'm going to bring Drew into my circle. Okay, Drew, are you ready to join me?
Yeah.
Okay, Bert, cue the music.
Kumbaya.
Cue the music. What music?
Because you see, there's a lot of similarity here between Tom Waits and this album.
Oh, wait, it's another Tom Waits reference.
Here we go with another Tom Waits reference. Because both albums,
I know where you're going with this.
Tom Waits and this album in particular, seem to have an almost junkyard approach to instrumentation, right? And they both have that kind of carnival freak show thing going on with some of the instruments that they choose, right? And I think that you could argue that is part of what makes this interesting to Drew, right? I mean, you got that brass accordion, honking sax thing that's like all over Rain Dogs and Swordfish Trombones. That's all over Jubilee. You've got those instrumentals, right? Like the Debt Collector and Lot 105, which is very like in the neighborhood Tom Waits, right? I don't think I'm going too far out of the way here. They're also both telling micro stories within each song, which is a very Tom Waits kind of idea as well. So I think we have a Tom Waits reference here.
Yeah, you've definitely done the shoe tying on that one, and I think that's both something to celebrate and highlights. I think I represented myself in not liking this album, because I don't not like this album, but it does dive off the cliff right after Girls and Boys for me. Now it comes back. I looked through my commentary, and about 3 songs later, I'm back in, because I understand them by then.
It's usually that you describe it that way, because to me, and it's a little ahead of Bert's usual rundown, but Girls and Boys is the track I would omit from this album.
Well,
No way.
it certainly doesn't belong with anything else on the album.
Really?
It's just a really good song.
I think it's an interesting song with that like faux disco thing that they've got going on.
Yeah.
But if you listen to the rest of the album, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense there, where everything else feels like it's part of the same story, you know?
Yeah. And I think maybe maybe you've reached my discontent with this record. Is so much of a whatever you want to call it, that is so much of it, and then it drops right off and changes gears.
I mean, I'm not saying that the album should start with Tracy Jacks.
Tracy Jack works in civil service. Tracy Jack is steady employment.
That's not what I'm saying, but I think Girls and Boys is just so dissimilar from the rest of the flavor.
But it's funny you mentioned that, Ryan, because I have in my notes that Girls and Boys is a fantastic starter track for me, because it kind of has that weird, like,
I feel like it would be
like synthy start, and then the beat drops in, and it's like, okay, we're doing something here, and your head's bobbing a bit.
I am dead in between you two on that, though, because on one hand, I think Boys and Girls is a great starting track, but now that I actually think about it, I'm like, it does stick out a little bit. It's not cohesive. Yeah. So
well, I'm not saying I don't disagree with that. I'm just saying it's a good starter for the
album. But like I hadn't thought about that, though. Like if you take that one off, there is a more of a theme where that one really doesn't fit the mold. I still love that. That's the best.
Yeah, I don't want to start with Tracy Jacks, though.
No,
and I like Tracy Jacks, but I don't want to start with that song.
I think the way it fits, though, is there is kind of like what's the best way to say it? Like a satirical aspect to that song, to Girls and Boys, because it's not really disco. It's it's
almost like a wink and a nod.
Yeah,
a wink. We're being funny, you know.
And that does play into the rest of the flavor of the album.
But I think where it loses me is it does it really well. I don't listen to that song. It's not in any of my playlists or whatever. But I think I listened to it. I'm like, all right, this is a good mood. It's a good opener if it was followed by the same vibe. But then they go to this Tracy Jacks, which I mean, instantly I'm like, what?
I love that song.
And I mean, see, that's so weird for me because take Pink Floyd, a band I really love. They've got songs that use that goofy accent and they lean into it. They got a song like Arnold Lane.
Arnold Lane had a strange hobby.
Some of their earlier stuff, and what it really reminded me as a Cream fan was, I think it's called Mother's Lament. Ron, you know that one?
A mother was washing her baby one night, the youngest of 10, and a delicate mind.
It's on Disraeli Gears. They're just singing it. It's the last track on some album. They're singing about a mother who washes her baby and it goes down the drain. It's this total throwaway tune. It's so crazy and weird. And it's fun. And I mean, placed in the right, I think that's the last song on that album. And it just leaves you with a weird taste in your mouth. But being the second song after that certain dynamic they create with Girls and Boys, it did not work for me.
So here's my solution to that, and that's because I listened to this album a lot this week. Is I just skipped Girls and Boys.
I still don't think I'd like Tracy Jacks.
But here's okay. So
I think you would.
I'm gonna blow your fucking minds right now.
Do it.
All right. I teased this with Ryan earlier. So Tracy Jacks, go back and listen to the first 14 seconds of Tracy Jacks. It's a Who song. Parklife, the song, the title track of the album. First of all, fantastic song, but they bring in Phil Daniels to do the voice.
Mm-hmm.
Who's that gut lord marching? You should cut down on your pork life, mate. Get some exercise.
You know who Phil Daniels is, right? He played Jimmy Cooper in Quadrophenia. There's a Who theme here, too.
Weird. Right? I didn't know that.
So I thought that was I love Parklife is by far my favorite song on the album. I think it's just got a great vibe to it. It's happy, it's jaunty, it's again kind of this tongue in cheek. We're kind of winking and we're being kind of cute with you guys or whatever. But the fact that they brought in Phil Daniels, and I got a quote here. He did an interview earlier this year for Radio X. Quote, I used to play football for, it might have been Melody Maker at the time. Steve Sutherland was the editor there and the manager, and he said, hey, some young band are interested in you singing this song. I said, I haven't really heard of them, but then I got in contact with Damon, and we had a chat, and then he sent me a tape, and I went into the studio and did it. And it was about 40 minutes, and that was it. I thought little of it, really.
Oh, nice.
Me and my importance.
I know, right? But he's in the music video too. So go back and watch the music. It's anyway. I think it's fantastic. But I thought that connection there, that connective tissue, if you will, was really really interesting. So.
I mean, album programming just generally on this does well.
Yeah.
I know not everyone's going to get into the sort of what I would call interludes, but like when you hit London Loves into Trouble and Message Center, and then Clover Over Dover, which is so fun.
I'd like to roll in the clover with you over and over.
Yes.
Magic America, and then Jubilee, which has it should annoy me, but it's done well. The missile command sounds and stuff.
Yes.
I mean,
yeah.
So he just plays on his computer, yeah.
I mean, I'm just sold. I think it's all thought through. The whole programming is very well thought through.
Well, and there's not to say they didn't want a contour like I described. Maybe it was intentional. Maybe I'm the one that received it well, guys. Maybe you didn't. But I will say,
that's what they were expecting.
Clover Over Dover was the first one that made me think, okay, I'm in the 90s now. That was the first song that really I felt connected with what I remember is the vibe of.
Interesting, because
30
I felt
years
like
ago.
the Clover Over Dover was almost like the most 60s to me on that.
I felt very retro on that one. Yeah.
Almost like a nod towards Crimson and Clover.
Interesting.
That and Lot 105. Perhaps it's the organ that made it feel that way, right? Very calliope kind of.
Is Lot 105 one of the instrumentals?
Yeah, it's instrumental. There's some la la la's in there, I think, but it's instrumental. It's the last song on the album, which, by the way, not to pivot to bad, but the only bad I have on this album is why didn't we end with "To the End"? That should have been the last song on the album.
Because they didn't want to be the Doors.
Well, but the lyric. Oh, that's fair. Go listen to last week's episode, everyone. But the lyrics literally are, and it looks like we might have made it. Looks like we've made it to the end.
You know, that song.
It's right there, guys.
That song won me over.
That's a good song. Very good song. Yeah.
I wasn't a fan at first, and I actually went back and restarted it because I started liking it, and I'm like, what was my problem a minute and a half ago? And no, I really like it. That end highlights his voice so nicely. It's a nice piece of art.
Yeah.
I have a question about Debt Collector to you guys, though, because
that's where I was going next. That's funny, Ron. Go ahead.
I'm not I've never been a wind player. I've never been a brass player. Is the clarinet out of tune, or is it just me? Like when I listen to it,
I think all clarinets are out of tune.
But when I listened to it in the truck, it sounded out of tune. And then when I listened to it on, the stereo at home, it didn't sound as bad. And I couldn't notice it on my phone, but that makes sense because you're not going to pick shit up on your phone speaker. But it just seemed out of tune to me. And so I was curious if anyone else thought so.
I think, correct me if I'm wrong here, guys. Is it an oboe? I don't think it's a clarinet, is it? I didn't look at the...
I didn't have him playing oboe on this album. I just had him playing...
Yeah, I don't have oboe.
Or maybe it's the soprano sax.
He played saxophone and clarinet on the album. I didn't look...
Okay.
I didn't see an oboe anywhere.
The flute in the second half of the song. I just did a quick scan around listening to it. I would wager you're talking about the flute in the second half of the song.
Or it could be the soprano sax by Tim Sanders.
I'm wondering if it's a soprano.
It didn't sound like a soprano sax to me.
Yeah.
But I didn't...
Either way, I didn't pick up on it as a way that was like a mistake. I'm wondering too, we're talking about some acoustic instruments that have very different overtone series than the rock instruments around them. So it could just also be that kind of a
That's a fair point. Yeah.
But that goes to a bit of the good that I wanted to highlight. And Ryan, you already touched on it a little bit, was kind of the Sgt. Peppers of it all, right? Mm-hmm. Like soprano saxophone on a rock album, like what? So just the cool instrumentation and orchestration that they've chosen, because this is, at a time, again, grunge, right? The dominant force in rock and roll was guitar, bass, drums, period. And they're throwing all this other instrumentation into it, which I think is really cool, really interesting.
Yeah, and I think it's great too. I just sometimes think it's doing what somebody else did and not as good, and I get all weird about it. That's a personal thing. But Ryan and I witnessed a few weeks ago what a rough shape woodwind can do to a performance, and it's
that poor oboe player.
I mean, but on a recording, it's another thing. I gotta say too, I complain a lot about out of tune horns, and I mean, I listen to myself on recordings, and I'm like, what? How did we even allow that to pass?
Yeah,
that's so bad. So I think, especially going back 30 years, things have changed, man. They didn't even have email then. Laura probably didn't have an email.
Good point.
I mean, I know that's when. So 94, we weren't even in college yet, so I didn't have email. AOL was like in its infancy.
You've got mail.
I was going to say it was real infant because I was barely on AOL.
Yeah, I think people had Prodigy. Is what they had.
Funny.
We did an episode on the Prodigy.
Not the band.
Staying on Debt Collector for a minute, I didn't want to allow that comment to leave from that song. The connection with that was what you made, Ryan, with Tom Waits, and I felt that then when I listened to it. I just think I was listening to this album thinking of 1994, being a teen, listening to cool music, and thinking of driving around town with that song blaring and going, what is this scene? And so that was where I didn't feel this song connects with this album.
But I think now you're in America and you're not embracing the inherent Britishness of what they're doing.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Is that wrong? Are you saying that's wrong?
No, but I think that's the disconnect that we all
And I love how you embrace that full on, because I'm like, not for me. And then I make quick judgment, and sometimes I regret that, you know.
Had I been exposed to this in 94, I think I also might not have fallen in love with it as deeply, because listening to it now with, I have listened too much to every XTC album and the Kinks, and it is informed the way I hear this music, if that makes sense.
No, that makes sense.
And other bands that emulate, have a quirky, jangly pop Euro sound, which I really enjoy. So hearing them do it so well, I think was an easy sell for me. But you're right. Me in 1994 probably I probably wouldn't have even been able to make the Beatles connection then, because I was too busy being 17 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I think about what I was listening to in I think you're absolutely right, Ryan. In 1994, I was like deep into Pearl Jam and Red Hot Chili Peppers and the stuff that was very, very
Smashing
different.
Pumpkins.
Very different from this, right? So would I have even received this in the same way? I don't know. Maybe, but I don't know.
God, the shit I was listening in 94 is just embarrassing. You guys are going
Backstreet Boys.
No, dude, I was jumping headlong into the Kentucky Headhunters junkyard, the Smithereens, and then there was Pearl Jam, Blind Melon, all that stuff. But it's just like, Bert, you reminisce fondly about, hip hop and stuff like that. And then I look back at the shit I'm copying off friends and my cousin, and I'm like, my God, that's where the weird
Yo, man, can I dub that tape?
Dude, he went to Arizona for a job and left his collection at the house. And I literally one summer dubbed 100 albums off him. It was a great time.
Any other good, bad, ugly guys?
I've got an overarching good. The chord progression choices are unique and very interesting. And I repeatedly noticed that throughout this. And I really don't like the time that I was able to give to this album, because I told myself, go sit down with the piano with the song and figure out what this progression is, so you can talk about it more on the podcast. And I didn't have the time. But as you guys know, I don't know what you had told listeners about my absence prior to this episode.
We got you covered. Yeah.
It's been a long trip around the world, and whatever else you said that I had been on, I don't know, but we'll find out. But I gave it what I could, but this is what I'm going to sit down with and figure out some, because they're fun. They're super fun. Yeah. They're unique. There's some Elvis Costello influence in there.
Yes.
Good call.
There's some really, we've all talked about the Beatles influences. It's so clear. And, I try to find the things to celebrate about this, but about these things, not just complain about the things that I don't like. And that's a huge one. It's those chord progressions several times over.
Yeah, I'm glad you went there, Drew. It was one of my notes. Was like everything has been thought through to just that one extra level, and harmony is a big part of it. I get really bored with the old 1-5-6-4, and you're not going to find that on this. Yeah. They play tricks on you. They'll make you anticipate what you think the next chord is going to be because of habit, and it doesn't go there.
And that happened specifically in the one I wanted to really sit down with, which was The End of the Century.
Oh, it's a great song.
Because I wanted. There's a time when he wanted to go to that diminished chord, second from the last chord, I think, in the progression, and instead it jumps. And like I said, I didn't do my homework, so I can't continue that point. But agreed.
It's funny you mentioned some of the vocal harmonies, Ryan, earlier when you and Ron were talking about some of that. So I thought to myself, it'd be really interesting to hear the stems.
Oh, because they're awesome.
Because there's got to be so much going on there, not just in the obviously in the instrumentation, but also in the vocals and the harmonies. So okay, hey, let's talk about results and ratings, shall we?
Let's.
Ron, you first. Scale of 1 to 10, where are you at?
Well, considering I tried buying it this week, I'll have to go with the reissue on this one for sure, but I'm really like 8.5. I have wore this album out this week, and like, no kidding, on the way to work, on the way home from work, my kids have heard it. My wife has heard it. I'll be buying it. So yeah, it gets high up there for me.
That makes me really happy to hear that, Ron, because for the other three of us, I gave it an 8.5.
Nice.
And Ryan and Drew both gave it a 4.
Okay, well, I don't know where I was that week then.
So our average score was a 5.67. My 8.5 was diminished by their 4s. We ranked at number 58 out of 100. So second chance, guys.
Well, this is going to be unprecedented.
Oh shit! Here it comes.
I thought this might happen.
So I gave it a 4.
You gave it a 4. That's correct.
I would give this album a 7.
So that's three.
That's a very large. And I actually did the same thing as Ron, and I'm already looking at which reissue I will be purchasing.
Let me know which one you come up with, because your judgment on that's going to be better than mine.
I'm also probably going to get a copy of Leisure, because I ended up listening to that a lot this week too.
Drew, how about you? Second chances. Sticking with a 4, or you want something different?
No, it goes up, but I mean, I'm not ready to. I put it to a 6.
Okay.
Yeah, I was trying to. I always try to correlate it to others, through this project and where we go. I remember not liking it at all the first time.
I'm wondering what the heck was going on. A lot of that had to do with we didn't have the time to listen as deeply. And I wonder, who knows?
I don't think we were making the time. I think we were putting the effort in to, do this project with each other and sometimes checking in, and I don't think every week we all we were just kind of dropping comments and not really reacting to each other like we do here, just saying blah blah. But I'm not going to say it's won me over as my favorite band of all time or anything. So I think it's definitely safe to go 6. I mean, with my scale rating, it's a pretty high rating, so 6 isn't that bad actually. But
no, it's good.
I do definitely owe it some more work.
I mean, it's no Tim McGraw.
It is no Tim McGraw. Tim McGraw gets his 6-0 minus times 0 70. Whatever the result of that is.
Another Ron equation.
I was just going to say, good job, Ron.
All right, guys. Hey, let's go to Margaritaville. If this artist, Blur, or album, Parklife, had a restaurant or a chain of restaurants, like Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville, what would it be called, and what would the theme be?
Who's got one?
You do.
I have 4.
Wow!
I know.
Let's hit it. Let's hear it, Ron.
All right. So the first one is the worst name for a whorehouse, Bedhead.
Is there a restaurant stipulation on that one?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, hey, you can eat in, you can eat out. That's technically a restaurant, boss.
Oh my! You gotta stop doing these at night.
I know, right? All right. So number 2 is, and actually it's a half one. It's a combination. If Blur and Michael Jackson opened a restaurant, it'd be called Tracy Jackson's, and it would only serve Pepsi products and flambéed food.
Interesting. Tracy Sons.
Yep.
Like ellipses in between.
Yeah. Number 3 is Parklife. And that's where you're sat on a park bench in a park and you're given a
bowl of life cereal.
No. A chicken salad sandwich, an egg salad sandwich, or a tuna salad sandwich, and tea. And then the last one, it's
just
called,
leaving that one
Wait,
there.
we're gonna drive right by that. And not explain it.
What?
No.
What's the chicken? What?
No, it's a sandwich, like a chicken salad sandwich and tea
Is that
on a park bench, and it's just park life.
I can't eat chicken salad without vomiting. It's a real thing.
Well, then you should not come to this restaurant.
That's not a restaurant for you.
I wouldn't.
You are not the target audience.
I'm not usually.
And then the last one we have, it's called Lot 105. And the song Lot 105 plays on a loop. And the food at Lot 105 is they serve piñatas. And they are sliced and opened by throwing axes at them.
Ew!
By clowns. Like Captain Spaulding looking clowns.
There's a lot happening at this restaurant.
Dude.
You've been in the South way.
Well, here's what's interesting. I've also got a restaurant that serves piñatas.
Oh my God, Robin, you are blowing up
as well as other barbecue kind of products, and it's called Parklife.
Oh, nice.
That was my good one. I've got a bakery called London Loaves.
Nice.
And I've got an ice cream shop called Swirls and Joys.
All right.
Swirls and Joys.
These are great. These are really good.
So great.
Do you got any, Ryan?
No, I don't. The only one I had was London Loaves, which Bert also used. So
really, oh,
which was the
I was trying to do some sort of like Tracy Cracker Jacks thing, but I didn't think
I was trying to go that way too. It
doesn't really fit the band either.
Yeah,
so like, what do they have to do with Cracker Jacks?
Yeah.
Other than I think this band would have probably liked to have produced an album that came with a free toy inside.
Yes, that would be. I could absolutely see that. Back when the CDs came in like in the sleeve.
Oh
like
yeah,
the cardboard sleeve. Yeah.
That's when the hippies got involved.
John Lennon, see episode 36.
Well, mine was Rank Holiday, where you eat preserved food from the year's prior holiday that wasn't preserved right.
Rank Holiday. I like it, Drew. Coming in strong. Late entry.
Just put like on a shelf, like a bowl of potatoes or something.
And the bowl of the potatoes all have like the eyes of the potatoes are growing.
Right.
Yeah.
See what happens.
That's right. All right. Hot take time, guys. Who's got a hot take about this album or artist?
My hot take's a little esoteric, so feel me out here. If you take periods of music and think of them over time, but adjust for inflation after the recording industry, right? You have around 1700 is the last good classical music that came out of England. Well, we give them people at home, please know that's a very round number. I'm aware there was other music. Then there's this resurgence of this idea of we have to be true to what it is to be British and embrace that and bring it. And you get artists like Benjamin Britten that come, and Vaughan Williams that bring this essential Britishism into the face of classical music again. Now you have the recorded time period. Everything happens so much faster. Like jazz explodes at the same classical to, romantic period to exploratory music in a much shorter time period. And so does rock and roll. I would argue that this album from Blur is the Benjamin Britten to British music of rock and roll history?
Define.
Well, I mean, you in what way, Drew? Help me out here. Where am I losing you?
Explain what you mean.
So we had a kind of dearth of true British sounding rock and roll. They were experimenting with styles from all over the world. And there was a lot of EDM kind of influences happening in, right? But there wasn't like this kind of like return to what things were sort of making for British rock, right? I hate to keep putting the Beatles on this pedestal, but other that British invasion being what I would call like then the 1700s, right? With Handel. And now that they're like, they had that choice. Like we could try to just keep doing what everyone else in other countries are doing, but they just said, no, we're going to do what was essentially great about British rock, and we're going to do it better, and we're going to modernize it.
I like it.
So if you think about, to summarize, Ryan, and if I mischaracterize this, please correct me, but 1700s is like Beatles.
Mm-hmm.
And then fast forward to Benjamin Britten. And even though that's a greater time period that expands, Beatles to Parklife, or Beatles to Blur is kind of what you're talking about. It's the same
Exactly.
type of, synonymous type of
things. The rate of change in styles is much faster now,
right,
due to the advent of recording, and even faster now with the internet and technology.
Yeah.
So
I like it.
So are you saying
that's a great take?
Are you saying they're better to this than XTC? As a huge XTC fan, is that that's what I'm trying to get at? Like, where do you?
No. No.
Or they're doing it to a truer form.
I think it's more of a return, because in 1991 and 1994, there wasn't much left of XTC. I mean, they only
kind
had
of run their course. Yeah.
I think they had like 2 albums after this, maybe, but like they were already like 8 albums deep at this point, and only the true fans maybe still,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I think that's pretty hot, particularly for those who can kind of follow the musicology of it. I like it. I don't have a take this week. Drew, Ron, you guys have anything?
I don't. I think that's a good ender.
Oh, damn it.
I have a hot take.
Thank you.
It's not like super hot, spicy or anything, but my hot take is we always talk about the programming. And Ryan, you said you like the programming throughout this, and akin to my statement earlier about how I don't like the way this comes in and then goes away, comes back in a weird swing. I think the second half of this record would be, to me, the listenable side. I feel like it's usually the first.
For you, the second half hits better. All right. I can see that.
I mean, from literally, it's really, the problem is the songs that I don't like in this record, I'm just like, don't like. And so it threw me off, but I liked more of the record than I didn't, by far. And the whole latter half is really solid. I feel like they're playing to what they are. I feel like they have their voice coming out, and they're not trying to do weird things. And I'm not sure where that second half would start on the album. I didn't look at that, but I'm not a fan of those instrumentals, really. They're fine. They're what they are. But yeah, anyway, I think the second half is better than the first.
Do you think that is in part a listening recovery from the disco tune?
I don't like that Chasey Jack song, man, no matter what way you spin it. And
So-
in end of the century, I actually was back in. I'm like, yeah, okay. I like the progression. That was the one that reminded me of Oasis. But they were doing their thing together, Parklife, okay. Bad Head, I really liked Bad Head. It made sense to me. I felt like that's when they started really doing well with this record, minus those instrumentals. So I don't know. To me, that's second halfy.
Well, so listeners, just FYI, I mean, everyone knows about the very publicized, I guess, competition or feud between Blur and Oasis. We've done a lot with Blur today, but I got good news for you, because coming very soon, I believe next week, as complete random thrown by Drew's darts, is literally Oasis.
I mean, it was a Brit Pop doubleheader.
So we have the working man versus the saucy Londoners.
Yeah.
And next week, we will be representing the Northern boys. Yeah. So, Oasis, we're coming for you.
Yeah. Yep. That's a great point, Ryan. Hey,
so anyway, here's Wonderwall.
Yeah, 100 Albums family, please now go listen to Parklife by Blur. I think, recommend it as a group. Let us know what you think. You can write to us at 100albums@bertislo.com. That's 100albums@bertislo.com. You can connect with us on Facebook or Instagram at 100 Albums Podcast, or visit our website at 100albumspodcast.com. If you've made it this far, then I think we can assume that you dig the podcast. So please, why don't you just give us a good rating, review, like and subscribe, share with your friends. The more you share, the further out there our podcast can get. As Ryan mentioned, next week we're going to continue with this Brit Pop theme and chat about What's the Story, Morning Glory by Oasis, which I'm sure will be another fantastic conversation. So, as always, thanks so much, guys. It's a blast.
Yeah, I love spending time with you guys.
Always a pleasure.
All right. See you next week.
Later.
Yeah, when Drew leaves, it looks like there's a teddy bear giving you. You guys seeing it? There's a just me.
Bert, this is more about your personal life than I needed to know.
Yeah.
You guys have
Oh, he's back. Okay.
You have a closet of costumes over there at your house, Bert?
Little furries? No, that's not me.